All right. Here we are live. If you guys can hear me, if anybody shows up, then need a thumbs up. We need to start editing these front portions out. All right. Good. So audio's good. Thanks, Robert. Yep. It's been a while, so we've been doing a lot of racing. Um, had some free time. Decided to go live, talk about some stuff. Um, should be good. Should be interesting. Good information. Not saying there's nothing negative on there, but I know there's good information that I believe. I'm still not good at managing this stuff about the live stuff, so I'm still working on it. If you guys have any questions, just type it in and then I will get to it. I wonder if I can see who's participating. That's what curious me. Kind endurance versus sprint. Um, yeah, basically something like that, and how the endurance racing can help you out with your sprint racing. So, Junior, if you guys don't know, Ruben Caceres Jr. He is racing the pro. I'm not sure if it's a pro late model series or he's just over to the another pro stock. You see that the different class? I'm not sure. He's in the bigger cars. He's out there racing. He's been killing it. Been doing really well. I think last race qualified P2, ended up P4 with good speed. So he is slowly moving up and progressing through the ranks. Hopefully soon we make it up to ARCA. Pro late models, yes. Yeah, but what are you racing right now? What was the last car you raced? It wasn't a pro late model. It was something else. And Junior is the torpedo. Yeah. Yeah. He has not been torpedoing as much though. Oh. All right, we'll give it a second more now and get into it. We'll give it another 2 minutes and then I'll start getting into what I want to say. I know how to move it up a little bit earlier than usual. Oh, okay, it's an outlaw car. All right, it's a little bit less horsepower, higher downforce. Well, I'm guessing which one do you like more, the pro late model or the outlaw? He's probably gonna say pro late model. I'm pretty sure the outlaw one's probably a little bit easier to drive. Mm. You guys smash that like button, the subscribe button. The outlaw is more fun to race, but the pro late model is more break style chaos, which also. Oh, okay. So the outlaw is actually more fun to race, but the pro is more like break style, chaotic. All right, I was corrected. I'm guessing they're both pretty badass. Mm. Well, I know what the topic we're gonna talk about. We're talking about like three different series, right? We're gonna talk about like when I first started, with this is the Endurance Karting company, and they also did Orlando Cups, which they had a lot of endurance racing with the rentals, and then Bushnell. Those are the three series that I have the most experience with, and the ones I run the most. So I want to come in here talk about it, talk about pros, cons, good, bad, and how it can correlate and translate over to sprint racing because it does correlate a lot. and I do recommend endurance racing for sure. So let's get started. Um, anybody else can come back and watch it later. I'm going to start off with the endurance series that's run by Chris McCoy. He does an amazing job. Endurance karting. He brings all the carts to you. You don't have to have any experience. Basically, you show up. You don't need any equipment. He has the helmets, the suits, the neck guards, everything else. Um, I know when I started, I went with him. He was out in Jacksonville, and I've said this story before. And he gave a class prior, and it's nothing but like 6 hours of track time. You get tons of track time in these go karts, and he has them evenly matched out. Like he'll take the time and like govern them, and set the carburetor and make sure they all are within like a tenth to his best of his ability, within a tenth of each other. Some may handle better than others. Some may be quicker than the others, like power wise, but they're all pretty much equal. They're if you do get one, it's really rare if you get a lemon, but then you're able to swap out. You have multiple drivers on your team. Some races are constricted to two teams, three teams, depending on the length of the race, and in different stints. What I like about it is like you don't have to have any experience. You don't have to put any like you just pay your entry fee, get on a team, and just see if you even like it to begin with. So it's a good gateway to filter into the sprint series. And he goes all over the United States holding these races. He does um, some 3 hour events, 4 hour events, 5 hour events, 6 hour events, 12 hour events, and he's held a couple of 24-hour events. And when I mean he goes everywhere, he goes everywhere. I have a little schedule here that I like to read out. So let's put it like this. He started out in March. It was a 6 hour race. Then he went April 1st up in Jacks at 103rd. And then he had a 7 hour race in Carolina Motorsports Park, 6 hour race in Pittsburgh. Uh, May 20th is the New York Grand Prix. June 3rd, it's 6 hours in New England. June 17th is at Chicagoland. July 8th is at uh, New Jersey Motorsports Park, 6 hour race. July 20th is Charlotte Motor Speedways. July 22nd is an 8 hour of Charlotte Motor Speedways. August 19th is 6 hours of Virginia. August 24th, back at Virginia. And September 16th is 24 hours at Carolina Motorsports Park. And that's in Kershaw. We just got back from there. Pretty good track. Grip level is extremely low. So it would be really interesting to drive the rental carts on this grip level due to the fact that they don't have grip themselves due to the tire compound. Um, Lime Rock Park, October 7th, November 4th is in Atlanta Motorsports Park, which is a cool track to race. And Alzheimer's is December 2nd, back at 103rd. Um, do you do these live videos on a schedule? I enjoy tuning in and hearing you thoughts. Not really. I try. I'm trying to do it every Friday between 6 to 7. Don't know the time half the time. I work nights, so I sleep during the day on Fridays. But I'm trying to do them on the weekends. I don't race, so I don't have any. I'm not traveling this today, so I decided to jump on here and announce it kind of late during the week. I've been trying putting out Mondays about what I'm going to talk about, and it's open discussion too. Like if you want to talk about anything else or basically ask any questions, I'll give you the my answer to my best ability. But if you haven't checked out Endurance Karting, I definitely highly recommend checking them out and seeing if they're close to you. If you want to get into Charlotte for sure, try to put a lineup together. Yeah, definitely for Miguel and Gabe. That'd be cool out in Charlotte. The dates in Charlotte would be July 20th and July 22nd. Um, the topic is basically endurance karting, right? Just an endurance karting in general. My experience with endurance karting is rental karts, LL206, and now Tilliston. I'm just gonna give my pros and cons to all of them. I start off with endurance karting. Like the pros is they bring you the equipment, the go kart, the helmet, the suit, the neck collar, and then basically they you show up and you get the race on a team. And it's a really cool way to even know if you even like karting to get like a little gateway drug into it. He did before allow 206s to run with the rental carts. We did a couple 24-hour races with him like that, and it was pretty cool. But you got to be careful. And then the entry fees start going down, and I'll probably get into why I think that happened with the 206s. Because it is a beating on your, is a beating on your motor, and there's a beating on your chassis pretty good. So most sprint racers would love to do it if they get like a beater chassis and a motor they really don't care about. They'll love to go out there for 24 hours and beat it up, but it gets kind of expensive like that. So that's probably where the count cart came down. And on top of that, timing. It is difficult with all the racing that we have is to get a schedule in that meets everybody's like everybody's happy with the schedule. Like I saw the September schedule here for Chris, and it's September 16th, the 24 hours of Carnival Sparks Park. Uh that weekend is TSRS, and I think also the weekend of Orlando holding an endurance race. So it's hard to make everybody happy, but if you get a chance, definitely try it out. Saw you at NOLA 24 hours in March 22nd. Our team won the heavy class. Should have said hi to you, but of course, everyone was busy. Cold nights, but fun. Yeah, NOLA was really interesting and fun. I took a pretty bad spill on that backstretch right after the chicane. Um, just came up on another cart way too quick. Now that event, I think we had mostly just 206s. Was that just 206s and maybe a couple of rentals here and there? But the speed difference was pretty big between the light and heavy guys, and it's a challenge to get it by people, which makes it more interesting. Oh, so it was all 206, yeah. So I mean, definitely, there are different speed levels wise. There's rookie teams, advanced teams. Um, it's definitely was a blast, and good learning experience overall. Um, oh yeah, that was a SimCraft 24-hour event. You're right, correct. Now I'm gonna move on to Bushnell Motorsports Park. They hold some pretty cool races. The longest I have been at for what Bushnell race, I haven't done any of the really long ones. I think they had like a 12-hour, but the way that I got my brother and my dad into it is they hold a Father's Day race event, and that's pretty cool. They hold a Father's Day race event, and it's a 1-hour event, and the teams were up to 1 to 3 people. They do a couple pit stops, and Brett does a really good job trying to get the carts all equal up there too. That is, awesome. Pretty cool event. Right now, what he has set up is Memorial Day, a solo endurance rent event. It's pretty cool. 3 different races, 3 different layouts. Each race is about an hour, 2 pit spots. Uh, the first one will start at 8, second will start at 10:30, and the last one will start at 5. So that's 3 hours of track time. If you struggle at a track and they're holding an endurance run event, you'll get tons of track time. You either become really good at the track, or you'll just get worse over time because you won't break your bad habit. So that's one event for sure. Father's Day event. It's the weekend of June 17th and 18th. He doesn't know the dates yet. And then you have a 3-hour event, August 26th. All his events are in rental carts, and I think he just upgraded his fleet not too long ago to Sodi. So he got some pretty nice rental carts out there, and he does a really good job keeping them together as well. And then the last one is Orlando Kart Center. They hold some insane, insane. Andre doesn't give a shit. Insane endurance racing. So This one wasn't as much as the first one. Cart count wise, I think the first one was a 12-hour, all at night. We had 10 Tilliston motors and 55 rental carts out there at the same time. He did not. He was allowing 206 prior to that, and then he just, you know, all the 206s didn't come out and run. Only two of us showed up, so kind of killed the program on that one. He allows like one. So all these other events that we've done, like long term, the tires are pretty hard compound. We used to run the MG Reds, and they'll last 8 hours with no problem. Nine, you probably do the whole 24 hours on them, but he'll allow two sets of 12 hours. And we did it on the Tilston, and it wasn't that bad. It was just passing. Just tons and tons of passing each lap. It was insane because the speed difference between the Tilston and the rental cars were pretty substantial. Um, that's basically the gist of all the rental races. The last event that we just went to was the Orlando one as well, but only three Tilstons showed up. Um, yeah, all the passing is entertaining. It was up April 22nd for a 4 hour. Round two is May 29th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a 5 hour. Round three, September 11th, a 6 hour from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then his final one is a 12 hour, December 10th from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. And those are going to be Tilston's and rental cars at the same time. And I think he didn't allow a cap last time for rentals, and he was, I think, topped out at 55. This time he went 45 and three Tilson shows, so like 48 to 50 carts on track, and it's a whole bunch of passing. Now, why do I bring up endurance racing? The reason why I bring up endurance racing is I think it's just a great way to get into a sport. You don't have to put any money wise towards equipment. I think the fares are reasonable um, for the amount of track time you're getting and the amount of investment the company's doing. So the companies, they're all putting their equipment up for you to race in. So that costs money. They're covering the fuel costs for most of it, except for Tilson's, we cover our own fuel costs. So that costs money. But then the amount of track time you get is through the roof. And this way, if you like it, you can go to the next level and maybe get into the entry level cart, which would be in my case, LO206 would be the entry class, but you can stay in that class and be racing national events, no problem. What advantages do you get about endurance racing? Is basically you're out there and people say, "Oh, you race for 12 hours straight." No, you do stints. So you have a plan, and usually a longer races we do like 45 stints, 45 minutes to a stint. If the fuel will last, we'll do an hour and 10, an hour and a half. Um, it helps you in the sprint racing portion part of it because I'm going to relate all this stuff why endurance racing helps you on the sprint side. It helps you on the sprint racing portion side of it. A couple of key points. One, you have teammates, so you have to set up the car based off your teammates, right? Um, you may like to drive the car free. Another one may like the cart to be have a lot of rear bite. Another one might have to be he doesn't like the brakes that much. Another one a pointing front end. But you have to set up the cart so you can last those 45 minutes to an hour and a half. All right. So you're how we do it on our team, we set the cart up to our slowest driver, to be honest. The cart that the driver that to us is the slowest and not to the level of everybody else lap time wise, we set up for his comfort. And then the rest of us drive around that comfort. So it helps you drive a cart that's not set up to your liking. So you have to adjust your driving style, right? And this is the part that even during a sprint race, it'll be One you'll go out there for a pre-final or qualifying. You go out there, man, the cart was just not working right. So you got to adjust your driving style. You got to muscle it around. You really have to change it up. Like adjust your driving to what the cart will give you to get the most out of the cart. And that's what one thing endurance racing does. You adjust your driving style to get the most out of the cart. The tires are rock hard for the really long races. So you really have to understand how to drive the cart differently. So I think that's one key feature, that the cart will not be set up exactly to your liking. You might not like the handling, but you have to work around it and understand, okay, how can I change my line, my driving to get the most potential out of the go kart? That's why endurance racing is a good way to do it. Next point, I'm gonna read a comment here. Endurance racing is an ultimate test of somebody's patience and ability to keep their head cool while still maximizing lap time. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. Next is going to teach you about passing. Uh, as the race goes on, you will be doing you'll lose track of the number of passes or being passed. That happens. All right. There's so much passing. And you have to understand that this cart has to last 24 hours sometimes, 12 hours sometimes, 4 hours. So when you're out there with, say, other carts, your same speed. So if you're all LO206s, you all have the same body style car, yada, 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 right? It's just like a long sprint race. But you have to, in a race, I might see the gap. I'll probably shoot for the gap. That's how I am. If you leave like one little opening, I'm going to shoot for it. In endurance racing, my mindset changes. I might sit behind them for a couple of turns just so I can get a better, not better, but better pass, and also safer pass as well overall. I don't want to tear up my equipment, so I'm not beating the curves up as much. I'm not really all out attack. Basically maybe a half a second off of what I could do to maximize the pace, but also not burn up the tires and the equipment. So then you start getting into a rhythm, because people say, man, it's so hard when you get out front and lead in a sprint race. You can't get yourself into a rhythm a lot. Racing helps you get into a rhythm. I like to go out there and be able to set lap time after lap time after lap time within the 2/10 of each other. If I'm not passing somebody, just boom, boom, boom. You start learning to hit your marks at the right spot. You start learning how to, brake a little bit later, turn a little bit sooner, get on the gas better. So sometimes you see lap times come out towards the end of the race because people are starting to push at the end of the race, but also they've gotten better and understood and learned to track. So that's another thing you can come over to the sprint side. Learning when to pass, how to pass, following someone and understanding their strength and weaknesses. So a lot of the time when you're up there racing in an endurance race, you might end up against a competitor that you both are basically right around the same lap time. He might be a little bit quicker than you. You might be a little bit quicker than him. Um, you end up catching him, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to catch him and drop him." And next, 4 or 5 laps later, he's on your back bumper trying to make a pass. Why do you think that is? He's learned. He's learning. He's probably out there looking, okay, I'm better in sector 1 and 3. He's better in sector 2. Where is he beating me in sector 2? Oh, he takes this line. Oh, he's turning at this point. Oh, this is what he's doing. So then at sector 2, he's right on your butt. Then he ends up passing, and you're like, well, I was faster than him. And you get that racer mentality mode, like I get back by him. Just sit behind him and see where he's beating you. And then you end up getting faster. And if you're both running around the same lap times, you can work together and get even faster. All right. Because two carts are faster than one. Right. If you're basically running the same lap times, two carts are faster than one. So that teaches you patience, how to adjust your driving style and your ability, and then learning the track as well. I think that's another key value point. Tire management. Sometimes out front in the race, and this happens to me as well, if I start trying to make a pass and I just want to gun it, I just want to try to get out and try to break the pack and break the lead. I have a problem of overcooking my tires, um, and then the car gets slippery. So it's all about managing tires during that pace. You'll notice that you can run, say, a 52.2 consistently, but then you start pushing, you're on a 50.8, 50.8, and then about 4 laps into the 50.8s, 5 laps, 50.8, the cart balance changes. It starts getting slippery, grip loses, you're starting to overheat the tires. So instead of running 51.2s to a 50.8, try to run a 51 flat. Because if you're consistently running 51 flats and the other people are running just hypothetical numbers, 50.7s, and then they do a 51.5, and they're inconsistent, your consistency in overall in the end will be faster than them. Uh, and a lot of the times, if you look at races and race monitors, the one with the fastest lap usually is the one that doesn't win the race. It's usually the guy that you I like to look when I see fast laps, I call them Hail Mary laps. Unless I see like three of them or four of them right around within a tenth of each other. Then I think, okay, this guy has outright pace. But when I see fastest lap of the race, it's just a Hail Mary lap most of the time. You'll see like 45-1, and that's the fastest lap of the race. You're like, dang, man, that guy was flying. Man, he was killing it. All his other lap times were 45.8s, 45.6s. And then the fastest guy won, and his fastest lap was a 45.3. But he was consistently running 45.3s all day. So endurance racing helps you to be more consistent, helps you adjust driving. It helps you with passes. It all relates to sprint racing. It really does. And it all relates back to, track conditions changes in the middle of the race, or tire pressure changes, your cart setup changes. It's all about it refers and translates over to the racing portion. Like, okay, so if the middle of the race the cart's slippery, what did I do to make it cause that, and how can I change it? That's all really what boils down to. I think endurance racing has helped me out a ton. When it comes down to it, endurance racing has helped me out a lot. Um, Sometimes when the cart's really hooked up during a sprint race and I'm really fast, you'll see me sit behind somebody for a while, right? I'll just sit behind someone and learn where I'm quicker. If I'm able to push them and break the pack, then yeah, I'll sit behind someone and I'll learn where I'm faster than them. And then for the last 2 laps, I'll just pick the part where I'm beating them and, pass them and then try to get away from them. So if my cart's not that quick, I will try to go for the lead. And if I don't feel confident enough that I can stay up with him, I'll try to make the pass for a lead. And you can see the desperation in some people as well. When they get past, automatically they want to attack back. And then endurance racing, it kills time overall, but in sprint racing, it really kills time. If someone gets around you and they dive bomb you back, or they try to get back around you right away, you can see the lap time just start climbing. And you can see the front pack or the pack you're fighting with just start pulling away like crazy. And sometimes it's better just to sit back and just push. That's the hardest part about it. People are always saying, like, well, only if I had clean air and you saw my fastest lap and I was so much faster than everybody else. And when you pull up lap times, we all ran the same lap times, or we all had the same fastest lap, that one Hail Mary lap. And it reverts back to, yeah, the guy in eighth, ninth, and 10th all ran like really fast laps as well, within a tenth of the leaders. The difference is the leaders were lined up nose to tail and they weren't passing and moving. So usually, most of the time, not all the time, if the guy attacks you right back, he's just worried that he can't keep up with you. That's why you see some of the big timers, Colin Warren, if he gets passed, A lot of times he won't pass you back. He'll just sit behind you. Dylan's another one. Uh, Perkins likes to lead Jed, so he'll even if he's fast, he'll get around you, and he likes to be out in front. James, his dad, is the opposite. He'll sit there and push the person you're racing against away from the field. Pignataro, he likes to get out in front. He likes to lead. Matt, though soul depends on the situation. He'll lead or pass. I think he's more like me as well. If he's confident in his cart, he'll sit behind. If he's not, he'll go for a lead. Um, if I don't mention your name, it's because don't get butt hurt. There's tons of great drivers. These are all the South guys that I usually race against too. Todd does not like to push. He'll like to lead. Insco will like to push and lead depending. If his cart starts going away, he'll let you by and then he'll just sit behind you and push him. He's really smart. He understands his cart really well. He's really smart. Uh, he'll be quick off the gate, and then maybe his car goes away mid race. He'll let you by. He'll cool his equipment down and then get back by you towards the end. Pinkston, he likes to get out front, but Pinkston's a really good pusher, like a really good pusher. Um, Overbeck, from the races I've seen, he will attack right away back at you, so he doesn't really like to follow at all. Owen Lloyd is the same way. He will, for some of the rate, he will not follow. He will attack. He'll try to get back by you. And I don't know if it's the kid's fast. I don't know if he's just not, if he's worried about it. He can't run away. Most of these tracks that we run, you can't run away. So I'm not sure if he's worried about the equipment or if he's just not confident in his driving. But he's fast. Sean Meyer, he'll push, he'll lead, he'll do whatever the hell he wants. Eric Fagan, he's smart. He'll sit behind someone and push. If he thinks he's quick enough, he'll pass and lead. Um, yeah, Pinkston pushed me so good. He pushed me right off the track. Yeah, that day was just I just didn't have it in Biloxi. Um, I'm just going down the names I know. Jerseycraft, Brandon, when he does race 206, he'll sit there and push a lot. Now, I do want I might go off a little tangent here. I do know like the two stroke guys, a lot of them don't like to follow, but they just like the attack and pass and attack and pass. And that's what a lot of people see in racing. And to me, when I see that type of race, I think it's crap. I just think it's just dive bomb city. And then there's a whole bunch of blocking. And it, to me, the racing doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. I like when they start working together, start running nose to tail and, pick and choosing their points of attack. They might get a really good run, get a good breaking point, but when you see the guy like 6, 7 cart lengths just dive bomb it, park it, and use the power to get out of it, it doesn't work in 206. So if you're an up and coming driver watching that, say in the junior class, cadet class, sportsman class, if you're sitting on the fence watching, watch the the senior, don't watch the master's class. We're kind of crazy. We don't listen to our own advice. Watch some of the senior mediums or senior lights class. You'll see them just line up nose to tail and go. And that's usually the really fast guys. Um, and that's just one of the drawbacks of watching, say, the younger senior kids in the 206. They're watching the next step up, the ones that will make it to KA because of financial backing and stuff like that. They see, oh well, this guy's all he does is making moves. Well, yeah, you can in a KA to a certain extent because even the KA doesn't have that much power compared to an X30 or a shifter. In a 206, you can't do that. You are just going to bring back the pack, or you do that, and then 5 or 6 will freight train you the next turn. You're wondering what happened, or you're just taking a really tight line throughout the racetrack, and you think your motor's crap. No, it's all about setting yourself right. If you're able to drive a 206 fast, you can drive anything fast, in my opinion. Um, yeah, that's basically what I have about it for this endurance talk. Definitely try it out. Definitely give it a shot. Um, for sure, it will help you in your sprint racing portion of it. If you guys decide to do it, find a local track near you that will do some endurance, some long endurance racing. You can do it in a rental car. You can do it in a 206 and a Tilston. Just get out there and get seat time. That's the number one thing. Seat time, seat time, seat time. So that's all I got for this evening. Thanks guys for listening. Hope you guys liked it. If you guys did like it, hit that smash button, hit that like button, subscribe. More to come. Uh, definitely. Next week's topic. I haven't thought about it. I'm debating between two or three topics here, or it just might be a sit down rant. But I'll definitely post it. Um, definitely by Sunday or Monday of what we're going to talk about. It might be why I really don't do money races. So that might be the topic. So that's the one I'm leaning towards. That or tire compound. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you guys on track. Take it easy, be safe, and have a wonderful weekend.